Hi everyone, I'm Tracey Neale, and this is the nitty-gritty of modern caregiving. Today our special guest is Christina Germanario, Operations Director at Cloverleaf Therapeutic Riding Center in Northern Virginia. She's here to help us better understand why equine therapy might just be a great option for you and your loved one, as it was, oddly enough, for my 85-year-old mother. Go figure. She's here along with Sarah Jane and Dave Ziaya, who will share the touching story of their son, Andrew, whose life has been forever changed by horseback therapy. We have a lot to unpack here, and we're going to get into it in just a moment. But we begin today, as we always do, with a moment of self-care. I need it as much as you do. And with the help of an amazing group called A Beautiful Chorus, we're going to exhale together. Ready? Okay, here we go. Breathe it in, let it out, breathe it in, let it go. Breathe it in, let it out, breathe it in, let it go. Breathe it. Now that we are centered and grounded, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Hi, everyone. Christina, Sarah Jane, and Dave, thank you so much for being here today.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I
Sarah.
hope you are as well. So we're here to talk about equine therapy because I have to tell you, I was a little shocked at the positive impact it had on my elderly mother. She has dementia. And because of her age and condition, I just wouldn't have expected that type of therapy to be a good option. But it has been, and I want to get into that. And I also want to share information with other caregivers so that they understand what horse therapy is and why it's so applicable to a broad group of people. And talk about one very special young man who's 21. His name is Andrew. First, Christina, let's begin with you. Can you explain to us, I've heard hippotherapy, horseback therapy, horse therapy, equine therapy. Is it all the same thing, and how does it work?
So there's a little bit of a spectrum to it. So as far as direct equine therapy, that would be a service that maybe a licensed social worker, a clinical psychologist would be using a horse as a treatment approach. And then a lot of the branch is actually covered under something called equine assisted services. So that's your therapeutic horseback riding, your groundwork, your horsemanship, using the horse to reach a lot of these therapeutic benefits, but maybe not necessarily down a direct therapy route. I found one study that was at the University of Colorado where they worked with 125 different children diagnosed with autism, and they found that they had enhanced social skills, they had better verbal communication, improved motor skill function once they were kind of done. And there's just such a wide range of benefits that the horses are able to give to folks: sensory input, physical benefits, psychological benefits, social benefits. There's more and more studies are coming out to kind of show that.
That's awesome. And that's something that Dave and Sarah Jane, you've seen firsthand with your son, Andrew. So he started when he was 11? Tell me a little bit about him and his condition and what drew you to equine therapy.
Andrew has Dravet Syndrome, which is characterized by intellectual disability and seizure disorder. So he is in special ed at school, and he's very social. He's very able to connect with his eyes and with his slower speech, but he's very aware of things. But things are processing a little slower, and when he has seizures, he loses that memory of that time. So along with that, he has the apraxia, which is challenged walking and movement, and he has some spinal issues. The biggest thing I've noticed when he gets on the horse is after he's been riding, he's calmer. It calms him down, his body, but he's also more talkative and more expressive. It's pretty amazing. I'll say that. That immediate feedback from the horse is just everything he needs and wants, and he just craves. He loves riding, and it's helped with his speech and his social skills, as well as his movement and ability to just interact with others even. So it's incredible.
It sounds incredible, and I'm so glad that it's been a wonderful experience for you. Now, you talked about seizures, so it's a type of epilepsy. So, Dave, talk to me a little bit about that.
So he started out having 3 a day when he was first diagnosed, and and then it was kind of like one a month. Within 3 or 4 days of a full moon, he was going to have a seizure. And then with some different medicines, now he's had maybe 3 and 6 months to almost 8 months now. So the medicines help, but I always noticed that after he was going to horse therapy, that it did. Sarah Jane's right. It calmed him down. I mean, he would be a little bit more expressive. He seemed to be more in touch with us, what was going on around his environment. And I mean, I'd love to be able to say we could have tracked his seizures and seen if that made a difference or not, but we just weren't keeping that close a track of it. But the just his calmness, though, because sometimes if he gets really agitated about something, that can kind of like the day after, later that day, he might end up having a seizure or something. So that's pretty much gone, especially when he goes to horseback therapy and has and sees his buddy Loki or whatever horse he's riding for the day. Because what I found amazing was that the horses know the kids and know the people, and they see him coming and they react. Andrew had been riding Loki for I don't know how long, and toward the end of the tour with Loki before he retired, you could see Loki getting excited for Andrew to come. And that's when I became a firm believer. It's like, yeah, okay, there's something really special going on here. Because at first, I didn't get to go to as many sessions as Sarah Jane did because work and that sort of thing. But it's fascinating to watch, and it's just warms your heart to see the horses get excited, just like Andrew does. So that was really wonderful.
So what is that, Christina? Is that an emotional exchange of energy? I mean, I know they're special horses because I've been out there with you guys. They're older, they're calmer, they're wonderful. What happens there?
Yeah, the horses that do kind of therapeutic riding we like to call them unicorns. They're really special horses. So even though they interact with maybe 100 to 200 people a week, they do start to learn the folks that ride them every week and the staff that work with them and the volunteers that work with them. They're just such smart creatures. When Andrew walks in, he is always in a great mood. So I'm in a great mood. I love that exchange of energy. So they feel it off of each other. And so that's how they kind of create those bonds. And it's a positive experience for both of them.
Is it also the movement, the cadence? What else taps into people and just they're able to lock into the animal like that?
Yeah, so when they're on the back of the horse, there's a lot that goes into kind of that rhythmic movement that gives a lot of sensory input. It is such a dynamic movement for folks that say are maybe in a wheelchair that they're in this really stationary wheelchair. And it's incredible how far wheelchairs and strollers have come that they almost eliminate all movement. But so now those folks are missing all that input that they'd be getting. So then if you're able to get them up on a horse, they're now getting that dynamic hip movement that maybe they're missing by being in a chair now. So just that movement of the horse gets your muscles working and your brain and your body, and there's so much going on that it kind of taps into that as well.
That makes so much sense. But Sarah Jane, I'm going to go back to you because you talked about spinal concerns. And I know that DS specific to epilepsy has spinal issues. Kind of antithetical, you would think, to riding a horse, but Andrew has had a very good experience with it.
He has. He's had so much, there's an exercise rhythm to it too. So there are lots of different pieces, I guess, if you will, parts of riding and experiences. So some of it is standing on the horse. Some of it is going faster, going slower. And then some of the movements that the horse made really make a difference in stretching Andrew as he learns to also do his little lessons that his instructor will teach him about, like, look at this letter and say the letter that I'm going to, or say the number. And so he's learning and processing and following 1 or 2 step directions while he's exercising. And it's just whole body. It's amazing.
And Dave, you had mentioned Loki. I know that's one of the horses there. I think Cooper and Tex, if I'm not mistaken, are some of the other horses that your son has really bonded with. How does he express that to you at this experience?
Part of it is just when you're taking him to his lesson and you start talking about, do you want to go ride your horse? Andrew's not necessarily good with transitions, but when you say, okay, it's time to go ride your horse, boom, he's up. He's ready to go. And he wants to get there. And then when he sees the horse, like he's waiting for him, there's Loki, there's Tex, there's like you said, the positive energy. You just see him getting excited to see the horse. And he rode Loki for so long, it just became a thing. It was just like, okay, I'm going. And then when Loki was out for some reason or whatever, it was kind of like that kind of took him aback for a second. I was like, oh wait, where's Loki? Well, he got somebody else today, so we had to kind of work him through that. But then Loki'd come back. Okay, Loki's here, and then he would talk about Loki. Yeah, Andrew doesn't always remember names well, but he remembers Black Horse, or he remembers, colors and that kind of thing. And he would always talk about that. But Loki, he got to remember his name. When he talks about it, you just hear the excitement and he's wanting to go and excited to go. And I think he'd go every day. if it could happen.
I kind of relate that to my mom in some strange way because she gets excited about it too.
You say, whoa.
She loves being with the animals, and her blood pressure dropped and stayed down so low, and her blood oxygen level increases, and her mood, you talked about Andrew's mood, her mood comes up too. So, Christina, I would never have thought of equine therapy for dementia care or people of her age group, but it really is broad, isn't it?
It really is broad. And what's really neat about horses is you don't necessarily have to be on their back to get some of those benefits. So you can get a lot of benefits just being in an open field with a horse and just being in a space with a horse, or standing next to a horse and you're grooming them. You feel their warmth. You feel them breathing. Them being willing to stand there when they're a 1,000, 1,200 pound animal is an incredible experience in its own. Like, they are choosing to be there with you and able to give you that in-person feedback of just, even someone nice to pet and talk to. So it is such a wide range. You don't always have to be on their back to get all those benefits.
Yeah, because she's not. She takes the brushes and she loves it. And it's just this wonderful bond for her too, just like it is for your son. And one thing that I think is really neat is that technology is coming into equine therapy. And I know there are simulators now that give you the same sensation or movement that you would have if you're not able to get on a horse. And there are other things I read about VR and vest and pads. How is technology changing equine therapy?
Yeah, so I think all these pieces of technology are just going to help us get more and more research to really put pen to paper data points of all the benefits that we're seeing. And now we're able to get concrete things that are like, yes, that is happening. We are able to kind of track the brain waves. We are able to see how if somebody's on a device that simulates a horse's movement, they're getting all these physical and all these other benefits. So I think it's just really going to skyrocket all the evidence-based facts of this that we're still working on and reaching for, that we know is there because we see it every day, but kind of getting everybody else behind it too.
All right, let's go back to Andrew for a second. So with DS, you don't outgrow it. It's a type of epilepsy that he will have. So will he continue with horse therapy, do you think? How do you think it's going to change?
I think so. He enjoys the horsemanship too. You were mentioning that earlier. And so there is that opportunity to do that as well. On some days he's done that where he's grooming the horse and he talks about the frog and, the hoof and then the brushes and the comb, the curry comb and all that. So he has a lot of fun with grooming the horse and with that input. And sometimes feeding the horse. The instructors have given him some carrots or something to feed the horse. So he loves all aspects of it. And yes, this is an activity he can grow old with. And there are not always that many activities for individuals with special needs to have like that. So a lot of them are child-based. And so this is really great that he'll get to do this for a very long time.
And Dave, I think I understand another way that he's expanding his experience with this program is that he's getting now some friends. He's bonded, yes with some mates. And that's important, his peers, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it's amazing how it just opens up the dialogue between the two of them. We have our Viva Vienna celebration every Memorial Day. And we went with one of his co-riders this time, and it's just all the time, the whole time. They were just there, and it's just amazing how, they just got to meet each other and could interact with each other, and they have that common bond with the horse that you wouldn't have had any other way. And so it's great to put in perspective that he's got so many opportunities, so many more opportunities, I'm going to say, with this, because he is meeting different people. And so it's fabulous.
That is. All right, Christina, is there anything else that you think caregivers should know in general, just to consider it? It is different.
Yeah, it is different. We always say that the best thing to do is just to come out and try it. Once you come out and you see the horses and you see how folks are interacting with the horses, even if you have a ton of horse experience, you have no horse experience, getting your feet on the farm is really the best way to kind of see all these benefits and feel them yourself and get that time with the horse. So you just got to come out and do it.
Come out and do it. I like that. All right. As we prepare to wrap up, Dave and Sarah Jane, what would you say to encourage other parents, other caregivers to try it, to just open their minds to maybe this kind of therapy might be a part of your story as well?
I would offer there's a fun and excitement about it, of course, and the feedback and all the things and the social aspect. One of the big things to me is the safety issues. And I really feel that with Christina and the other instructors, Andrew is very safe on the horse, even with seizures. They are trained. They know what to do, know how to handle him, everything. So we're very grateful. I think it's a really good opportunity for kids that don't always have those opportunities.
It's touching for you, isn't it? Tell me what you're feeling.
A lot. So, yeah, it's wonderful. I would highly recommend it.
Dave, I'm sure you feel some of the same feelings that your wife does, right?
Yeah, you don't want both of us crying on your podcast,
but we understand. Yeah. We're all caregivers. We get it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was a skeptic. I'm going to say it. At the very beginning, it was kind of like, okay, I don't see, but then I witnessed it. I went and saw it. And you look in the horse's eyes, and the horse is looking at Andrew, and they recognize each other, and they get excited about each other. And if Andrew needs a slower cant or a slower day, the horse responds. If he's up and can get in a jump position and can ride it for a little bit longer, the horse is going along too, and to the point that sometimes they have to say, okay, slow down for a second, because Andrew will just keep going and everything. So it's amazing that they recognize each other, but they've created a bond that you have to see it to really to understand it and to internalize it. And I think everyone should have that opportunity. Everyone should have that opportunity to have this kind of bond with an animal that just creates so much joy and increases his ability to respond and open up to the world around him. So, I mean, that's what I would give the person you're caring for an opportunity to expand his or her environment.
Expand their world. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking time to share your son's story. Christina, I appreciate you sharing your information. And maybe some caregivers, will give it a shot and be as surprised as I was. But I wish you all well on your journey.
Thank you.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Christina Germanario, Operations Director at Cloverleaf Equine Center in Northern Virginia, and the Ziaya family and their amazing son, Andrew. Here are today's top takeaways. Horse therapy isn't limited to mounting a horse. There are proven benefits in just caring for, walking, and grooming the animals, especially for older adults or people who can't get on their backs. And we didn't really get into the expense, but fellow caregivers, don't get put off by the cost. There may be several nonprofit and localized programs that can help to offset the cost of horse therapy in your own area. It's going to take a little research, but I can tell you firsthand, it is well worth it. That does it for this episode. Take care, everyone. Remember to exercise, eat right, and seek joyful moments. Caregiving family, let's stay connected. You are not alone. Special thanks to a beautiful chorus.
You can find them at beautifulchorus.com, Candy Marketing Store, and Emma Bett Neal for graphics. Visit our YouTube channel and don't forget to subscribe.